TARDIS.
What does it stand for?
What? You're kidding me? Surely you know that.
Well, I've heard a couple of different versions.
Well, I made up the name TARDIS from the initials, time and relative dimension in space.
TARDIS, T-A-R-D-I-S. It stands for time and relative dimensions in space.
It is a machine for investigating time and relative dimensions in space. I'm a doctor of science, and this machine is for traveling through time and relative dimensions in space. Now, you...
Come again?
Oh, never mind, my dear, never mind.
Here's one you'll never get. What does the word TARDIS mean?
Well, what does it say, my dear?
Got it right. Time and relative dimensions in space.
Good heavens, let me see.
TARDIS.
Oh, yes. I asked the doctor what it meant. Time and relative dimensions in space, he said.
Yes.
TARDIS? What does that mean?
Time and relative dimensions in space. It's a spaceship.
You have a spaceship?
The TARDIS. Time and relative dimensions in space.
And you travel through space and time in it?
Affirmative.
The TARDIS? Short for time and relative dimensions in space.
Fascinating.
What would you want with an old Type 40 time and relative dimension in space machine,
But I do want it, Doctor. The TARDIS.
It's called a TARDIS, an acronym for time and relative dimensions in space.
What's a TARDIS?
The TARDIS is my ship. It carries me through time and space. TARDIS, it stands for time and relative dimension in space.
And this master, is he like the devil?
It's called the TARDIS, this thing. TARDIS. That's time and relative dimension in space.
It's called the TARDIS. Time and relative dimension in space.
Your spaceship's made of wood.
Time and relative dimension in space. This room used to shine with light.
TARDIS, T-A-R-D-I-S. It stands for Tethered Aerial Release, Developed in Style. Do you see?
Well, I do now.
The TARD.
Time and relative dimension in space. Yes, that's it. Names are funny. It's me.
The TARDIS.
What does it stand for?
What? You're kidding me? Surely you know that.
Well, I've heard a couple of different versions.
I made it up from the initials. It stands for totally and radically driving in space. Do you want to come?
Time and relative dimension in space. It means life. Time and relative dimension in space. TARDIS for short.
What changed your mind?
Time.
Time.
And relative dimension in space.
I'm a traveler in space and time. And that thing buried down there is called a TARDIS. Time and relative dimension in space. You're gonna love this.
TARDIS stands for time and relative dimension in space. So we've moved location as well.
Hold on a minute. No. What? Don't unplug it. You must never do that. You must never break the time and relative dimension link. Come on.
Yes, it's quite cosy, isn't it? Oh, you will soon get used to it, old chap. Relative dimensions and all that.
Just how big is the TARDIS?
Well, how big's big? Relative dimensions, you see, no constant.
Oh, it's not an answer.
I see what you mean about relative dimensions.
Yes.
This revolutionizes the whole concept of relative dimension. Oh, Doctor, if only I were a younger man and had the time to make use of your knowledge.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Hoop YouTube channel.